Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever thought about running a super profitable short-term rental business, but without, actually buying the property? Well, today we're diving into the complete 2026 playbook for doing just that, Airbnb arbitrage in one of the hottest markets on the planet, Florida.
Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why Florida is an absolute goldmine for this stuff. Then, the rules you just can't ignore. After that, we'll get into the money, how it really works. Then, I'll give you the exact launch plan. And finally, how to protect the business you've just built. Let's do this.
First things first, let's really get our heads around why Florida isn't just a good market. It's the undisputed heavyweight champion of short-term rentals. And honestly, the numbers behind this opportunity are just staggering.
Just try to picture this, 143 million visitors. That's not just some random statistic. For a host, that number represents a constant, year-round river of potential guests looking for a place to crash. I mean, with everything from theme parks to beaches, the demand is just relentless.
And all those people, well, they bring a ton of spending power with them. We're talking over $133 billion pouring into the state's economy. This creates this incredibly strong environment where a well-run vacation rental isn't just trying to survive, it's practically set up to thrive. And check out the sheer scale of the support system here. With 1.8 million jobs directly tied to tourism, the entire state is basically built to welcome travelers. So, as a host, you're not starting from scratch. You're plugging right into this massive, well-oiled, multi-billion-dollar industry.
Okay, so we get it. The opportunity is huge. But before you dive headfirst into this, you have to, and I mean have to, understand the rules of the game. Navigating Florida's regulations is kind of like a two-level challenge.
So you're basically dealing with a two-tiered system. At the state level, the whole framework is incredibly friendly to hosts. Yeah, you'll need a license and you'll collect state taxes. But here's the amazing part. The state actually stops local governments from outright banning short-term rentals. Then, you've got the local level, where cities and counties can add their own little twists, like needing to register or having safety inspections.
This sentence right here, this is the absolute bedrock of the entire short-term rental industry in Florida. Seriously, this 2011 law gives you incredible security. It's the reason you can build a business with real confidence, knowing that some local city council can't just wake up one morning and shut you down. That is a massive, massive advantage.
All right, let's talk money. Time to decode the dollars. To really make a go of this, you've got to know your numbers inside and out, both what you're going to owe in taxes and, let's be honest, the fun part, what you can actually earn.
Let's just use a major hub like Orlando as an example. On every single booking, you're going to collect a total of 12% in lodging tax. It's usually a mix of the state tax and the county's own tourist tax. Now, platforms like Airbnb usually handle this for you, which is great, but you still have to account for it in your pricing. And this right here, this table, shows you the reward for dealing with all those rules and taxes. The earning potential across Florida is just incredible. I mean, look at St. Petersburg. An average daily rate of $354 can lead to over 80 grand a year in revenue. Even in a place like Jacksonville, you're still looking at a solid 40 to 50K. The numbers really do speak for themselves.
Okay, it's time for the action plan. This is the step-by-step playbook for launching your business using the rental arbitrage model, which, by the way, is one of the fastest and most capital-efficient ways to get into this game.
So, what is rental arbitrage really? The idea is actually pretty simple but so powerful. Instead of buying a property, you just sign a regular long-term lease. Then, and listen, this is the most important part. With your landlord's written permission, you furnish the place and list it on Airbnb. This strategy lets you launch a business for way less money. We're talking maybe $5,000 to $15,000 instead of needing a giant down payment for a mortgage. So these first 4 steps are your foundation. This is all the boring but absolutely critical homework. You got to analyze the market data, you got to get on the phone with local officials to triple check every single rule, and you form your LLC. But let me say it again. For arbitrage, the single most important step is getting that permission to sublet in writing, right there in your lease. A handshake won't cut it.
Okay, once that foundation is solid, the next 4 steps are all about execution. this is the fun part. You invest in good furniture and you absolutely get professional photos. That's totally non-negotiable. You write a listing that sells an experience, not just a bed. And you hire an amazing cleaner. Trust me, they will be the MVP of your team. Then you launch and you obsess over every little detail to get those first 5-star reviews that make the algorithm love you.
All right, you've built the business. Now you have to protect it. And please don't tune out now because this final section covers the stuff that so many new hosts miss, and it puts everything they've worked for at risk.
Okay, let me be crystal clear about this because this is such a common and costly mistake. Your regular homeowners or renters insurance policy, it will not cover you for a business activity like an Airbnb. If a guest gets hurt and you try to use that policy, your claim will almost certainly be denied, leaving you completely on the hook financially.
So what you need is a specific, dedicated, short-term rental insurance policy. It needs to have at least $1 million in liability coverage, protection for when a guest breaks something, and even coverage for lost income if your place is out of commission for a while. And hey, this is Florida we're talking about, so robust hurricane and windstorm coverage isn't a luxury, it's an absolute must-have. Your final layer of protection is a legal one. By setting up a Florida Limited Liability Company, an LLC, you basically build a legal firewall between your business life and your personal life. What that means is if your business ever gets sued, this structure is designed to protect your personal savings, your car, your house, all of it.
So here's the bottom line. Florida offers this undeniable, massive opportunity. But that same opportunity, it attracts a ton of competition. Success here isn't about just listing a spare room anymore. It demands a professional, strategic approach right from day one. The opportunity is there for the taking. The only question is, are you ready to operate like a pro?